Hello, hello.
What up, though?
Welcome back to Blasian Soul Podcast. Is that how you say it?
Yes, I believe it is. How to say
How do you say it in Laos? I
it.
don't think
My
I don't think
for
there
the
is a
time is
word in Laos.
I'm
Uh,
making fun of it. Um, But no,
see
we're
how you
back
are.
every Monday, um, giving you what we have to offer. We interview community leaders, role models, entrepreneurs. We have fun. We try to share a little bit of our cultures and the mingling of the two, um, all to entertain you guys.
Absolutely,
This
absolutely.
started during the pandemic when everyone was losing their mind. So we thought we would bring a small level of comedy and introspection, and then it
Closely.
just grew. Okay. Um,
No, you don't.
and
If
then
you
it
talk about
grew.
hair, no, you
It
don't.
grew from there. You see how she laughing about, what I'm saying?
I mean,
Um,
I met you like that. I love it.
Will Smith smacked Chris Rock because he was talking about his wife's hair. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Domestic
I know.
abuse.
Not me. I'm saying people out there. They might be offended that you are making
No, a
fun of
lot of
your
people
husband.
love
You know.
guys that
Um,
are bald.
okay, and we press on. We got a lot of stuff that's
Yes,
coming up,
we
guys.
do. We
That are
got a lot of
planned.
announcements tonight.
We're finally trying to get all of this equipment and working out the kinks to all of that. And
Mhm.
you guys will see a lot more in the coming weeks. We're kind of just getting back into our groove as far as Blaze Your Soul is concerned. But we can start out with an announcement from my better half.
Okay, so I had the dates mixed up with tonight's guest, but it worked out perfectly because I have a special guest tonight that's going to talk to us right on time for taxes. Because, as you know, tax is due, I believe, next week, which we have a scheduled appointment with her this week. So she's going to give us some tips and tricks around that. But before we bring her on, we do have a couple of announcements to make. Um, One being that I don't know if you guys watched the last show, but we did introduce the Blasian egg rolls. And
Malaysian soul food. Egg rolls
Blasian Soul Food egg rolls
is an
is just
entree.
one of them.
They,
Okay, it's a Blasian fusion food. And so the egg rolls is just one part of it. So this Saturday, if you live in Elgin, but if you don't, are we gonna ship it
we're gonna pick
or
out
we'll pick
some
out
random people.
some random people that
I
we'll
mean,
ship it to?
shipping is costly.
Yeah,
Shipping
shipping's
is
quite
major.
costly. So, however, we are going to be announcing that we are going to have a taste test this Saturday. So, hopefully, you guys can still hear me when I have this banner on. But this Saturday, April 15th, if you text, be the first 20 people to text the word taste to 224-245-9577. Text the word taste, and if you're the first 20 people, we will give you the time that you can come down and sample out the Blasian Soul egg rolls. This Saturday will be in Elgin at our studio in Elgin. So be the first to text taste, and you will be able to come down, get the information to come down and taste the egg rolls that everyone has been in demand and asking for.
Now we have done a fly by the seat of our pants egg roll taste testing already to a
Yes.
select few when we were at the salon and we had customers in, and we got rave reviews. I can honestly say that there are people that are already calling us saying, "Hey,
Can I order?
right, let me order a pan, let me do this and that." So, really think it's going to take off because, like I said, it is a fusion of the two cultures. We have a few different varieties.
Yes.
We do have other entrees in the pipeline as well, but I've been asking my wife to make these egg rolls
For 3 years, has it been?
about 2 or 3 years.
2 or 3 years,
Yeah.
he's been asking me to do
I'm
them.
like, it'd be great. It's crunchy. You put the
And
soul food in there.
it's so normal. And we, us humans, do have to get out of doing that. But it's so normal for us to have our minds in a box when we only can think of what we know, right? So in my mind, I'm like, that is not going to work. What do you mean put this in there? And what do you mean? That's just normal, right? But I've learned through the years as I'm maturing that you do have to think outside the box. You do have to try something else that people are suggesting in order to grow or see something different. So,
moral to this story is
listen to your husband.
listen to your husband.
And listen to your wives.
Your husband is out here with your best intentions.
And listen to your wife. I'm like, how is that going to work? Yeah. However, the crazy part is the next weekend that came around, because originally I was going to make regular egg rolls. Then he was like, well, why are you making regular egg rolls? Why are you not making the Blasian egg rolls? I was like, you want me to make Blasian egg rolls? So I still had the stuff for the regular egg rolls. So I'm like, okay, I put it aside. I went to the store and got all the stuff that I needed for the Blasian egg rolls. Then I made the Blasian egg rolls and then took it to the shop, and then it was a hit. And so I still had the other stuff for the regular egg rolls. So then the next following weekend, I made it, and everyone's like, where's the Blasian egg rolls at? I was like, oh, okay.
Trust in your husband.
Yes.
He has the experience, the knowledge.
Okay.
Trust in your husband. That's the moral to the story.
All right. What's the word for the day?
You're supposed to give a word from Laos.
Well, you know what? I don't know if I ever started with the simple Sabaidi.
Well, I know Sabaidi.
Well, you know Sabaidi, but everyone should know what Sabaidi is. Sabaidi is hi, hello, how are you? And when you're talking to, like, if you're a younger Lao person and you're talking to an older Lao person, you say Sabaidi, like that.
Sabaidi.
Peace. So one more announcement that I have, and then we're going to bring our guest on to the show. You'll hear more about it next week. But I just wanted to, I'm super excited to announce that I will be launching book number 2. I think Dekovia probably just heard it for the first time as well. But, my first book, it was, your first book, right? So you learn and you get better as you go, but you think about what your readers want. And from my first book, it was like right on the onset of the pandemic. And so it was one of those things where I wrote about my personal experience as a Lao American living in America and the racism and the things that I've experienced through my lens. And then as I'm doing the different speaking engagements, it was to my surprise that so many people do not know what happened to our country. So many people did not know the secret war on Laos. And so I decided to do book number 2 specifically on the Lao refugee experience, specifically on teaching other people about our culture, but specifically the book is titled The Secret War Within Us. And the reason being, it talks about, the secret war, but also like the trauma that we've also faced behind the scenes after all is said and done. Even though the war was over, that doesn't mean that the trauma within the Lao community was over. So I talk about the trauma within the Lao community. And for those of you who don't know, even back in Laos right now, soldiers farmers and children are still losing their lives and their limbs from these unexploded bombs that the American troops the CIA held against Laos. And for those of you who don't know the history of Laos, for 9 years we were bombed out. But you'll hear more about it next week when I do the official launch on the podcast. We're going to bring our videographer on here as well, and you'll hear all about it. But without further ado, we are going to bring our guest on the show. And Miss Dekovia Livingston is joining us today to give you guys some tips and tricks and resources on taxes.
Yes. Hi, guys.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Around this time, you are the woman of the hour because there is not a American out here who doesn't worry about taxes.
Yes.
Exactly.
You know, whether or not you're getting some back, whether or not you owe a little bit, but everybody needs this information because time is a waste. It'll be here in a minute where the deadline is here.
Yes.
Next week, the 18th, right?
It is the 18th, yes. So just a quick bit on that. So it is the 18th for filing, but that's if you owe. But if you know you're getting a refund back, you have up to 3 years to file in order to get that refund.
Oh,
so
wow. I never knew that.
Yeah. So if you wait 4 years to try to get a refund, they're not going to give it to you. They're just going to take your paperwork.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
But if you owe them,
you have to do it right now.
Right.
Then you have to do it.
Yeah.
By the 15th or get penalized.
Correct. So there's another thing about the deadline that people are getting confused about when it comes to extensions. Okay. Everyone's jumping to do an extension. Oh, I need to do an extension. Oh, I need to do an extension. But they're failing to realize the extension is for paperwork, not for payment.
Oh.
So they're giving you until October 15th to send your W-1040s in, but you still have to pay them by the 15th of April.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So if you need to know exactly how much you pay, you have to do your paperwork. You might as well just send it in.
Yeah, the government wants to pay money no matter what.
Yes.
Wow.
You can send me the paperwork later. I don't care about the paperwork. Just send me the money now. And
right.
if you overpay them, they send you back, but you have to give them a guesstimate of how much you think you might owe them.
Yeah.
So if you happen to overpay them and then you do your extension and file your taxes and you find out, well, I only owed you $500, but I sent you $15, they reimburse you that money back.
Okay.
Once they process it. But if you pay them a guesstimate and you do your taxes and they find out that you actually owe them more, then they're going to charge you an underpayment penalty.
Oh, wow.
And how much is that? Like a percentage of what you owe?
I really don't know the percentage right off the top.
Oh, okay.
But I just say do your paperwork early, get everything, your receipts in.
Right.
So you can at least do a guesstimate and send in the right amount, or just save up so you can send in that extra. So it's better to pay them extra than to have to get that underpayment penalty from them.
Now your clients are from all over, right?
Yes.
So anybody can be a client for you.
Yes, I am actually in 8 states now. Yes.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
How'd you get into taxes though? That just seems like, unless you are a dedicated accountant that's been doing numbers for years, that is a different take. A lot of people aren't tax consultants.
So a little backstory of me, when you're young, a single mom, you always have to find different ways to try to make money.
Hustle.
Yes, you have to get your hustle on. And my hashtag for myself is recession proof. I try to make myself recession proof. So I have a bachelor's in electrical engineering. So when I got my degree, that's when 9/11 hit. So there was no way for me to get, a manufacturing job. Everything was outsourced. It was just hard. And by me being one, Black, two, a female, I was always last to be picked for anything. And I just got tired of being overlooked, and I needed to make sure I can pay back those student loans and take care of my family. So I switched gears. I already was doing taxes just to help people out. So I got my master's in business and with understudy in accounting. Then when I graduated, I just started doing taxes again, just to be doing them. And so many people kept asking. I'm like, well, you know what? I'm gonna start charging you so I can make it help out with my kids.
Right.
But then it kept growing, so I'm like, I'm just gonna make a business out of it because it grew so fast. So since 2004 to now, here I am.
Wow.
So that's how I got into taxes. It's all started as a hobby, just helping out. Then, it grew to they make a couple of extra dollars on the side to a full-blown business. So
wow. And you loved it so much that you started a nonprofit to help other people.
I did.
Tell us about that.
So the non-for-profit is for low-income families, non-English speaking residents So the IRS reached out to me and asked, they sent out an email, asked would I would be willing to partner with them to offer free services, because there are a lot of people that are here in the United States. They need I-10s or don't speak English as well. They're not filing their taxes. And they're not filing because, one, they don't understand the IRS laws, and two, they're afraid of, what they're supposed to do. Are they going to get any back? Right. But there's a lot of people that's afraid, they just don't file. So they feel like, I can't file. Yes, you should always file whether you owe or not. So people are so afraid of the IRS, they actually will work with you. So it's nothing to run from. If you just answer the mail that they send you and just call them and maybe talk to them, they work something out with you. So it's nothing really to be afraid of.
Right.
So I help these community people out. A lot of people that can't afford to get their taxes, but they're seniors. They can't afford to get it done and pay the professional fee. So we help them out. We help our seniors, vets, non-English speaking residents, within Cook County, Kane County, DuPage. Basically, anybody can reach us because we're open year round. Mm-hmm. So it's actually called a VITA Center, Voluntary Income Tax Assistance. Oh, okay. And most VITA centers that are partnered with the IRS, it's not that many, but the ones that will close down this Saturday. Mm-hmm. But I told the IRS I volunteered to stay open year round. So I literally was doing taxes until December last year.
Dang. Oh, wow.
Yeah, because whenever someone called the IRS saying they needed help with their taxes, they didn't have the money, they sent them right to me.
Yeah.
Now, does the IRS help you out or give you a tax credit or anything for doing these services?
Please, the man don't give you no tax credit, but they do have a grant, but the grants are, all grants are kind of hard to get. So you just have to make sure you follow every guideline that they have. So I hooked up with a grant writer that works for the American Red Cross. So he's helped me out with my grant this year. So hopefully by him doing federal grants, he knows exactly what they're looking for to make sure we get that money. So every year you can apply, or you can apply for a 3-year stipend where they give you the same amount every year for 3 years to help you tie you over. But mostly we do community work, donations, sponsorships. But again, you still have to apply for the grants, and grants don't come as fast as you think they would. I have so many grants I applied in January, they're still pending. And I'm thinking because of the recession and it's fiscal year end closed for a lot of people. So they probably have to watch their books before they can start, doing their community giving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That makes sense. Now, tell everyone, what are a list of your services, not your nonprofit, but your actual business itself? What's your list of services?
So the list of services, I do individual and corporate. So I do corporate taxes, small business taxes. I do bookkeeping, payroll, and then regular individual taxes. And I also assist small businesses with setting up their startups, as far as getting their EIN, getting registered with the states, getting incorporated, helping them out with guiding them as far as getting business credit, getting, business bank accounts, everything you need to know to make it the type of business that you want. If you want to be a corporation where your business is its own entity versus LLC or sole proprietor where it's still linked to you. So it all depends on what your preference is. I can guide you on the spot and tell you exactly where to go and how to do it, so you can make sure you follow each step and don't miss anything.
Right.
Now, what if someone is in that stage, which means that they got a letter from the IRS saying they owe X, they dispute that? Would you be able to at least help them with that process, or how does that go?
So when I get clients that come to me that owe the IRS, depending on the amount, I normally will put them into a installment agreement, which is spread out over 72 months. Okay. Or if it's too much, we can do an offering compromise. So the offering compromise is an extensive process. The application is maybe like a 32-page application. There are certain documentations you have to send in, because what you're doing is telling the IRS, hey, I can't afford to pay you, but I can pay you maybe 10% of what I owe, depending on the amount. But it all depends on your assets. People might feel like, oh, I'm low income, I don't have that much. But if you own a home, or if you have an insurance policy or 401k, the IRS wants to see all this documentation, they'll find it. And if they see you had it, like, no, liquidate something, give me my money.
Wow. So they'll make you liquidate your 401k?
If you're asking for a reduction in what you owe them. If they see that you have the access to pay me, yes, give me my money.
Right.
And then you probably just best to be getting to a 72-month payment installment agreement.
Right.
So, but they're not gonna let you go say, oh, you owe 30,000, but you're offering them 5 or 6. They'll say yes if they don't find any assets. Yeah, we'll settle for that. Right. And it takes them a year to do the application. Once a year is over, they'll reach out to you. But when you submit your application, you at that time have to tell them, if you say yes, I'm gonna pay you this one lump sum, or they'll let you spread it out again over 24 months. So say if you owe them 30, you offer them 5, and they say yes, you can spread that $5,000 over 24 months.
Oh, that's good.
But the kicker is, you better not get no refunds, because if you do, they're gonna take it.
They're gonna take your refund.
You told them you was broke, you better stay broke for 5 years.
I was just about to ask. So, what if you get a real good job within a year?
So if you get a real good job, you're fine. But if you get a refund, they're taking it.
Yeah.
Because you told them you didn't have any money, so you shouldn't be getting any money. So it's like you told them you was broke, stay broke for 5 years.
Right.
They just gonna take it.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
brutal.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone is scared of the IRS. So,
Yeah.
I mean, definitely pay them their money, but it just seems like when you owe them money, they're like, give me my money.
Yes.
When they owe you money, it's like, yeah, we backed up, we're taking our time. You'll get your refund when you get your refund.
Right.
So it's a little different.
But I can tell you one thing: the IRS is the only company that will pay you late and give you interest on what they owe you. Right. But they give you interest, but you have to file the interest on your taxes as income. So
you're kidding.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know they would give you interest on the money that you owe. I mean,
they'll give you interest. You might not see it because it might be wrapped up in that lump sum. If they say they took too long to process your refund, they're going to give you interest on what they owe you because they should have given it to you within 14 days. But you get a statement next year, a 1099.
Oh, wow. That you have
taxes.
You got to do taxes on it.
That sucks. Yeah. That's not cool at all.
Oh, my goodness. No. So for business entrepreneurs, what's your best advice for those ones?
My best advice for entrepreneurs is don't give up, keep going. Do not be afraid of the IRS. Just make sure you keep everything clean and clear, your registrations. If you are incorporated, there is a year-end filing you have to do, not with payroll, not with your taxes. It's a corporate filing that you have to do by the 31st of every year, with December 31st. So make sure you do that, because if you don't, they can dissolve your business or say that you're not in good standing with the Secretary of State. So just make sure you do everything you need to do. Keep up with your expenses. That way you don't have to pay as much taxes as you do. I was talking to a client earlier. A lot of people are deciding, should they do S Corp or corporation? Right. Me personally, I like corporations because I like to keep my business separate from me. I like to be my own entity, and I want my business to be its own entity. Mm-hmm. It can be that way with the S Corp, but it's going to generate with you a K1. And where does that K1 go? Back to your personal taxes. So there you are, linked again to your personal. So you just have to decide what is it that you want. What's your preference?
Right.
Now, I've heard that if you do corp, there's double taxation there because you have to pay corporate taxes as well as another tax.
Correct. So you'll be paying your corporate taxes, and then when you do your regular taxes for yourself, your personal, you have your personal taxes. Mm-hmm. So let me just give you an example. Say if you had your own business that made $200,000. And what if you had a corporate America job that may pay you $35,000, but you have 3 children? You can't carry your children on your personal taxes, but you're going to get that earned income on your personal tax.
Right.
So, but if you are a corporation, you're paying the corporate taxes, but you can expense everything that you spent on that business, which will bring down your taxable liability and not eliminate you for getting that earned income credit that you get for your kids.
Oh, wow.
But if you do an S Corp, you're going to have to carry over that gains that's left over to your personal taxes, which means what? It's going to increase your income, which means, you know what? You're not getting that earned income from the babies that you got. So it all depends on what your preference is. So if you do an S Corp, yes, they're not going to tax you on the federal But all that money that you left over gained with, you carrying it over. So now you're paying that tax on that personal and this tax on a different level. So now you're getting kicked out of every type of credit that you can get.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
What about LLCs?
LLCs are, you can do either way. You can be a corporation and file 1120s with LLCs, or you just do it as a sole proprietor, which would be a Schedule C on your personal taxes. So again, if you need your business to be separate, LLC is not it, because you're doing a Schedule C,
right?
Which means that you're still linked to that business.
That's true.
When it comes to turning in your tax returns to any type of financial institution, you're trying to get a loan for anything, they're going to see your business.
Wow.
So yeah.
So no, I didn't know.
That's good nuggets.
Yeah, but you can be an LLC and be a corporation.
Yes, you can file 1120s with LLCs.
Yeah. Okay.
I did not know that. All right.
We need some direction from you then this Thursday.
Everybody named Mama need direction from her right now.
Yeah, so another tidbit that a lot of people don't know. So if you are, like, say if you do an S corp and you carry over your losses to your personal, if you're trying to get a home loan or anything, they treat you different. Your debt to income is different. Your qualifications are different. So if you were personally trying to get a home loan, they will only want the last 2 bank statements for your loan. If they see you have a business, that's what they want. The last 12 months of your business bank statement, and they're going to audit every withdrawal and deposit of your business bank account just to approve you for that loan.
Wow.
That's why I like to keep myself separate.
Right.
And that's what we need to do, I believe.
Yeah.
We need to.
I do an S corp, and I make sure I keep over my expenses. That way my taxable liability is not
Wow,
that high.
we're doing it all wrong.
Yes, but then I won't have to go through all that scrutiny when I'm trying to get a loan, because they want to see all your business. Oh, what's this deposit? Or what's this?
Right.
What's this? Well, let me see what you made last year. What is this? What is this? What is that? I don't want all that. I'm not applying for business credit. I'm doing something personal for me.
Exactly.
But that's just what, the underwriters would do at a bank.
That makes sense. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
See, I was always scared of going to court because I always heard the old rumor that, you're going to get double taxed if you go to court. Never go to court.
It's the fear of the unknown.
So it's not a double tax if you're getting a refund on your personal. It's only double tax if you own your personal and you own your corporate.
Both, yeah.
So, but you're not eliminating the tax, because say if you made $120,000, maybe you made $200,000, and your expenses were $60,000.
Right.
Now you got $140,000 of gains. They're not taxing you federally, but you still got to pay taxes on how you're doing it, carrying it over to your personal. So now you got $140,000 on your 1040.
Which is going to
hurt a lot.
So that's what that tax is going to be, because you've already did your deductions on the corporate side.
Right.
So guess what your tax is going to be on your personal side? So you're not alleviating it, you're just minimizing it, but it's still there.
Wow. Yeah, everybody needs you in their life.
So, all right, take me to this. If a lot of young business owners, and we all get caught up on this, is that, I'm going to keep all my receipts and I make sure I'm expense everything through my business. What are the hard, fast rules for that? Because I'm quite sure if you only made 50 grand on your business and you got 45,000 worth of expenses and receipts, that would raise a red flag.
Like, why are you still doing the business?
Yeah, is there?
And that's what the IRS probably will say when they audit you. You need to close that business down, because if you spend every dime that you make, something wrong.
Exactly.
So you have to be careful that everything that you buy is not a business expense. Because you still have a personal life. I had a client that came in. He does Uber. And he made, I think it was $32,000 on Uber. And every receipt he brought me totaled up to more than $32,000. Said, how are you making it? I said, you know you might get audited. I got the receipts for it. So I don't care if you had the receipts for it, but how are you going to tell the IRS that you made $32,000 and you spent every dime and plus some? Where'd you get the plus some from?
Right. Makes sense.
I said, if you want me to do it, I'll do it, but I'm noting your file what I told you. Come back and tell me.
Don't come back blaming me, right?
Yes. Hey, Dekovia, the IRS calling me, and I'm like, hey, so there's a note here says that you demanded me to do it. Okay. This is liability on you.
So is there anything to, like, not a true guide, but are there any words of wisdom you can give an entrepreneur as far as, well, not just their taxes, but when they are trying to get deductions? I mean, one of our biggest deductions for our business is software.
Mhm.
So, Adobe and the 10 other pieces of software that we utilize. But if you're just starting out, is it correct to grab every receipt that you have that is in any way connection? Sales guys used to say all the time when I was in the chamber, "Oh, I got this. Give me the receipts. I'll pay for this because he's going to write it off."
Mhm.
So, but that's a slippery slope in itself.
Right.
So, any words of wisdom when they're starting out and they're trying to make sure that they are taking every deduction possible,
Mhm.
but at the same time, you have to make sure that you don't get red flagged.
So the IRS allows you 5 years. When you're a startup, a lot of places, you still have to do if you're building from the ground, you still have to build. You're not making money because you're building. You have to do your supplies, inventory. A lot of people, it takes a minute for a new business to start up. So they allow you 5 years to take losses, but you're going to have to start making money soon.
Right.
So even if you did a startup build from the ground, you can expense all of that because that's actually a business expense because you're paying for it because you probably had to get a business loan,
Right.
and
Right.
expense that out. But after 5 years, they're gonna be like, okay, you're gonna have to start making some money. So you have to start reporting your money that you make. But they're allowing you 5 years to take a loss.
Right. So what about if you did start as an LLC and you file with your personal? Is there a chance to switch that up? And
you most definitely can. So what you would do, you would have to go back in. You would have to dissolve that EIN number that you have because those EIN numbers are assigned for each level that each entity that you're trying to do. So you would have to go in and dissolve that one, create another. It doesn't have to be done before or after, but as long as that tax season you dissolving it, and go in and create another EIN number and make sure you mark that you want to do a corporation because they're going to give you a different EIN number, and then go to the Secretary of State and do your articles of incorporation with the Secretary of State.
got
And
it.
dissolve that LLC EIN number. But then you're going to have to go to the bank and change your bank account because that LLC corporation would have gave you a sole proprietor bank account and it's still attached to you. But then when you get your corporation and go to the bank, it's going to be an actual business bank account that's not attached to you. It has your actual corporate company name and it don't say sole proprietor nowhere when they pull your records for your financials.
Got it.
So is this the perfect time to switch over because it's the end of the tax year? If you wanted to switch,
You can do it. You can do it whenever. Because it depends on how you're doing your accounting. Are you fiscal year or calendar year?
So calendar.
Yeah,
So
we do
calendar year, you can do it at the end of the year before the 31st.
Okay.
That way you can start over fresh with a corporation.
That makes sense. I think that's something that we want. Do we have an appointment with her?
Yep,
Thursday morning.
Thursday morning, 9 a.m. Did you check your schedule?
No, I didn't. You see that we are illiterate when it comes to a lot of this. So don't laugh too hard when we come in with our box of stuff and be like, okay, here you go. And you take a look and be like,
you're like, what were you doing?
What have y'all been doing for the past 3 years?
The 14 grand to the IRS last year.
Hey, you are not the only one.
Good.
Wow.
Good. Because now that you're telling all these tidbits,
right,
I'm damn near
shaking your head.
I'm damn near ashamed. I'm like, well, wait a minute.
We've been doing it right all this time. We got it all wrong.
Yeah, I've been just TurboTaxing it and just be done with it that way, and that ain't the way to go. So, if there are people out there who are just as ignorant as we are in taxes,
Dekovia,
business taxes, tell them what is the best way to get in touch with you so you can turn their life around.
They can reach me at the office. If you dial the 800 number, it'll either go to the office or my cell. It's easier for me to reach you. You can call directly 224-806-2951. If you are someone of need of the free services, at the free for you services, if you're a senior, low income, we also help out do seminars at the non-for-profit. So we just had an expungement event, which was last Monday. So that was a free event. We had a nice turnout. People came in, learned how to clear their backgrounds.
Right.
We have a fundraiser that is coming up, which is a fashion show. So people can not eat, but actually it is a vendor there. She's going to be having food because she's a small business owner also. There is going to be a bar. People can buy drinks, sit down and watch the fashion, shop at our pop-up vendors. A lot of vendors are going to be there selling different things like candles. There is someone that is selling things from a dispensary, not the stuff that goes inside, but the equipment for the dispensary. So we have a lot of different vendors that are going to be there that you can choose from and shop with. Mother's Day is coming up, prom, graduations. Come in and grab your gifts. You can buy your tickets and support us. Even if you don't want to attend, you can buy a ticket to support, or scroll down to the bottom. There is a donation button where you can donate to the organization and help out with our cause. So this fashion show is geared around the small businesses. So we are going to do like a small business boost. So we have a lot of small business owners that are my clients. Some are not, but they don't have the resources to get themselves marketed, to get started and get out there and get their business off the ground. Right. So I'm creating this fundraiser to give them awareness so people can come in and see them and see their wares. They might not have the wherewithal to get a website. A lot of them don't have logos yet. Ms. Laura, she's going to be there. She's going to be helping out and get people started with their branding. But a lot of people need different things to get started. We're trying to make ourselves recession proof. Can't keep having all these wars and COVIDs and whatever else might come in and shut us down. We have to be able to jump ship and go somewhere else in case something else, falls through.
Exactly. And then you want to tell them the fashion show is called.
So it's called the Strive Against Negative.
I know I put you on the spot. I actually have it written down.
I can't remember the acronym, but
striving to advance negative community environments.
There you go.
Yes, Amy.
Sorry, guys, I couldn't remember. I got
you. You got a lot of hats you're wearing, but I typed it in already. But aiming to break the negative stigma over low-income communities and help them become financially stable and independent. So any donations from this fashion show will go towards education and also, helping the community advance one by one. So definitely come out to support. Again, if you didn't see the first time, I did put a screenshot of the event. You can either go to bit.ly/Stance Charity Runway, or you can scan that code right off of the computer or phone, laptop, or just go there and then buy your tickets, share it. If you're not able to go and attend yourself, definitely can get it and donate as well. And we're going to have a great time and be able to help the community grow together.
Yes, we have to be recession proof, especially the minority communities. We have to be. Because there are double negatives on, us growing. So we have to help each other out. Any piece of advice I can give or any information I find out, I pass along to people to let them know. Any step up you need. We also do workshops at the Free For You services. We do Microsoft workshops. Those classes are going to start in the summer after tax season. We do resume building, help people do job search. A lot of people have lost their job or want to get back into the workforce. Teach them how to interview, teach them how to negotiate your salary. Because I didn't know that you can negotiate your salary. I just learned this like 3 years ago. So, don't let them just pay you whatever they want to pay you. Try to negotiate your salary, get your resume seen.
Right.
Learn some different skills so you can learn how to get a customer service job, learn how to type. A lot of these students that are coming out of school don't know how to do, regular Word. And these are some things that you need if you want to do a regular customer service job. And there's a lot of customer service jobs that are out here.
Right.
So trying to get yourself acclimated so you can get back into the workforce, or just change jobs if you're looking for something different.
Exactly.
And let me tell you something. I have held, I'm not going to say where I worked, but I've held positions as director of marketing, senior marketing manager, things like that. Still to this day, I can't type. I'm one of the ones that I'm putting together a report and I'm typing away like this. And so I have a degree, but typing just never.
You got to take one of her classes.
When you're in college, you're like, typing. No, I don't need to take that. You know what I'm saying? I got 100 other things to take. But when you get in the workforce and you got to put that presentation together for tomorrow morning, and I'm sitting there, one finger in it, I should have learned how to type. Okay?
But you should have been in the high school back in the 80s that I was in, because I had to take typing, and our typing teacher would smack your hands if your posture was not correct. Get it right. No strikes. You'd be like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Man,
I got my typing speed up because she was not about to pop my knuckles.
All right.
And I remember like
the typewriter. We were in the era of the typewriters.
I took a business class that briefly touched on typing, and it was like ASDF, JK, semicolon, something like that. But anyway, but I blew that off. I'm like, man,
that's why you do like this.
Yeah. I'm like, man, I'm gonna be an executive. I don't need to learn how to type.
Yeah.
Now I be sitting up like, man, please.
Oh my goodness.
Please let me get through with this report that I cannot. Or I go back and I see 11 mistakes. I'm like, I have a good grasp of the English language. How did I make so many mistakes? Is because I'm sitting there hitting it like that. So
and I forgot about the typewriters, and then you could white it out, right? You can go back and white it out.
When you take your typing test for school, you better not hit that backspace. You got to keep going because she gonna mark your strikes.
So, yes. Oh my goodness. The kids have it so easy. They got the spell check and all that stuff now. We used to have to do it the old school way.
Yeah. And to this day, I use Grammarly. Actually. My boss was like, hey, you double check your work before you do it. So I use Grammarly and all these other things that, you know what I'm saying, that we use because, yes, I did not. That was one of those things that, and this is wrong for me to say, but back then, this is the stupidity that we were in high school and college. But everybody was like, I'll have a secretary. And my secretary would type and do all that. And now I'm looking up and, man, I'm begging people. Hey,
can you type this?
Can you type this page for me, please? Thank you very much.
It's definitely a skill that everybody should have for sure.
Yeah.
Or nowadays we have the speed, the talk to type.
Yes.
So did you know that?
Yes, but it's not. That's just like with rewriting.
I mean, you still have to go back and
you still have to go back,
but. It comes in handy.
They might think you said one word when you just said another word, so it puts that.
Oh my goodness! I tried to show my dad how to do it. It just didn't work because of his accent. I was like, Dad, never mind. You cannot do this one. He'll be saying one word, and then with his accent, they'll be typing something else.
I hate it because it never spells my name. I'm like, I don't know what that is. That's not my name.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that would make me mad right there. If you can't even get my name right, then we have nothing to talk about. There's nothing to go from here. No.
Oh my gosh. Our son uses that on the remote, and he would be fighting with that voice to text. I said
especially talking to Alexa. No, Alexa, it's not what I said.
6 years old, so some of his words are not like accurate. So then it's typing something totally different, and I could look over and see him fighting with the voice on the remote control. You just don't listen. Oh my goodness.
Y'all sitting up here talking about my son.
So cute. But it's the most hilarious thing.
All right. We always say this. Everybody who owns a business should have a 60-second elevator pitch. So the CEO of one of the biggest companies is in the elevator with you. He turns to you and says, what do you do? What is your response?
Don't ask me that because I'm still trying to learn my elevator pitch. I freeze up in a minute. I'm not going to even lie. I reached out to somebody last week. I was like, could you please help me with my elevator pitch? Because I don't know what I'm saying. And I want to make sure I present myself in the way I'm capturing you. So. I need to capture you.
Exactly.
So I think to make sure I do know. So yeah, my elevator pitch
I'm
is
still
not.
practicing on mine.
No,
So it's
and
all good.
well, first of all, it's never a done deal. It's always a work in progress because you're always learning new skills and advancing your will hub as far as your professional career is concerned.
Yeah.
But I had a boss who he would come in. We were in marketing, so we were in the sales meetings when he talked to the sales guys, and he would walk in, and randomly he would say 60-second elevator pitch. And one of the salesmen had to get up and knock it out, and I'd be stumbling, and he would do one or two follow-up questions like, that doesn't make any sense. Give it to me again. So yeah, telling people, who you are, what you're about. While it's not a deal breaker, it's always good to have that on the fly, just so, I've closed business at the bar watching a game. Somebody's next to me, and we get to talking, and he's like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I tell him, "Oh, you do marketing, dude. I own 3 businesses. I need some help with marketing," and we go down that path. So I do always try to have that. But number one, thank you for coming on, because
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
It's amazing that in just a short amount of time, we learned a lot of stuff that if we'd have knew when we were opening up all these businesses that we had, we'd have been far better off.
Saved so much money.
Okay? And then 2, you're educating everybody and giving them a means that if they don't have the money or the resources to get their things done right, you're also helping them with that. So that is the definition, of my opinion, of a community leader, of a role model, somebody who's doing stuff. That you see that stuff on TV all the time, but someone who's in the trenches in your community, that should always be lauded. So thank you very much.
We give your flowers.
Thank you.
Flowers.
That's what he always say. Give them your flowers over here.
Well, yeah, without a doubt. You wanna, if
I
someone is
appreciate
doing,
it.
if someone's doing something that is commendable, don't wait, but tell them no. So without a doubt, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We'll definitely probably have you back on, and we'll see you Thursday, because girl, you got your work.
Yes, you got your work cut out for you with us.
Okay?
Oh, especially with this one.
I got you.
All right. We'll see you. Thank you, Dekovia.
All right. Thank you for having me, guys.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you, Katina and Dee. I see you all on here. Y'all looking good. So let me tell you, I my husband likes to put the heat up really high. So I'm hot. So that's why I have this on.
Okay.
But
first of all, I ain't touched the heat. Okay.
You don't always touch the heat. He always touched the heat.
We have a computerized temperature system.
Oh, so it's set to that?
So
you set it to that.
You turn it, whatever you turn it to.
It gets so
during
hot
the day,
here.
it raises it up.
Really?
And at night, it lowers it.
Oh,
so,
I'm gonna check.
I don't know why you think I'll be coming in at 2 o'clock in the morning.
I'll take a video of him. He really does. He does. He likes it hot. I mean, I like it hot too. But man, if we're sweating on the show and I have to wear this.
Well, first of all, I come from a tropical environment. We tropical. So,
I understand, but man,
foremost, you know what I'm saying?
We're tropical people. I'm a tropical person too. They call us Pacific Islander, Asian American Pacific Islander.
Well, that doesn't necessitate.
But we're not on the island though. But we are close to the equator. And when I went to visit, it was like in the hundreds. Right now, it's probably like 110.
That you being closer to the.
Okay, we could check.
Africa as a whole is closer to the equator. So we are tropical people. That's why the melanin in our skin is that way, so we can absorb the sun and utilize the sun.
All right.
That is why, and we will have a discussion
on melanin.
In the future episode where we talk about the superpowers.
Well, speaking of
the superpowers that Black people get from melanin. Okay, we do get some superpowers. I won't divulge all of them now.
Superpowers.
We will have a discussion later on
superpowers.
Yes, black people get superpowers from their melanin.
Mm.
Yes, believe that. Why do you think we just survived all these years? It's special.
Yes. Well, I get crazy in the wintertime because I don't have enough vitamin D. So what does that say about
Because
me?
if you had the melanin that we had, you would
I
absorb.
wouldn't need the vitamin
You would
D?
absorb enough vitamin D and sunlight that during the winter months,
It'll be fine.
yeah, because you have stored so much.
I see.
Just like with bears that hibernate, they eat a lot of food, store that food, so they don't have to eat as much as in the winter. Same thing with black folks.
Gotcha.
I'm telling you, there's a million of them. There's a million things about black folks.
Yes.
Flat out.
Yeah, vitamin D. I need. See, she needs vitamin D.
You don't
too.
understand. I be ready to walk out the door in the winter months when she ain't got her vitamin D. I'm like, you know what? Maybe our marriage has run its course. Okay.
Wait, didn't we file divorce a few times?
I think so, because I was.
We filed divorce a few times during the winter.
In the winter,
and then in the springtime, we're like, wait, should we just stay together?
And I told her one day, I'm like, you know what? It's the wintertime.
I think
don't
our
know what it
lawyer's
is
like,
about you, but it's
are
the
you sure
wintertime
about
with
this?
you.
Can you just keep your retainer this
And
time?
one time she was like, you know what? I'm going to go to the doctor because you might be right. It might be the winter. Once again, trust in your husband. Trust in the judgment of your husband. Because my bag is packed.
It's always around November, right?
My bag is packed. I'm like, you know what?
December.
I'm going to get me a one-bedroom flat. And we just go.
But we've even lived in separate
Yes.
areas around the
Believe
winter
me.
time.
That vitamin D thing is no joke.
It is no joke. But I didn't even know about that till like a few separations later.
And then what I think it is, and she always comes back. Okay, that's the key.
I always come back.
She always would get mad, blah blah blah. Then it's babe. But now the sunlight is out. Now it's
springtime.
Now it's I love you so much.
Oh my goodness.
Hey man, listen. For real, that vitamin D thing is no joke. Okay, that's why you need that.
But it could be you too, though. You know, I'm just
learning
how to live with somebody like when
it
it might be you too, though. It may not just be me.
The doctor told her, yes, you will get mood swings because your vitamin D is so low.
Wait, I would have to take 58,000.
Yeah, she had to take medicine and all
58,000 milligrams.
But even though the doctor told her this, and she takes medicine for this, she still just tried to flip it and was like, well,
it could be you.
It could be you as well.
It could be you.
That right there. That is
that doesn't have anything to do with it.
That's my medicine. No.
All right. For those of you who joined us late just now or watching the replay, just so you know, we have a taste for Blasian egg rolls this Saturday. If you text, you're the first 20 people to text taste, the word taste, TASTE, to 224-245-9577. We will text you the location on Saturday, the information on the location, as well as the time to come and sample on live your Blasian Soul egg rolls on this Saturday.
If you watch the Blasian Soul Facebook page and the rest of our social media stuff, I might throw a hint out there of where this will be at what time, because we want everybody to come down. You try it once,
you'll get hooked.
Flat out.
You're pretty hooked. For those who, I don't think I have anybody on here who has tried it. I don't know if Dekovia came by when we had it, but you'll get pretty hooked. And yeah, so first 20 people to text the word taste to that phone number that I had showed on the screen.
Watch our profile. I'll hook y'all up. Don't even worry about it.
Oh, you're gonna tell on us?
I might.
Okay. And then
I have a vitamin D deficiency, so sometimes I just go off.
You have a vitamin D deficiency.
Yeah, I just go off the cuff and just start telling things. So.
And tune in. Definitely make sure you tune in next Monday, because you will hear a little bit more about my new book number 2 coming up, A Secret War Within Us. the loud one speaks. And so you'll hear a little bit more about that next Monday. So be sure to tune in next Monday to get a glimpse of that.
And let me tell y'all something. I am not I'm an introvert, so I don't like telling people my business or my story or anything like that. But understand this. If I ever did write a tell-all book, watch out. Watch out. I got the dirt on everybody. I know everything. I know where the bodies is buried. I know where the cash is stored.
No, he doesn't.
Man, oh man, on this one, first of all, I could write a novel, a series of novels on this one right here. Okay, and believe me,
I've had quite the life. It's okay. I've had quite the life.
When
quite the crazy life.
When her and
including meeting him,
my grown daughters heard my story, they was crying.
Your story?
You're
talking about your real story. Like when you were young, your actual story of your life.
Yes.
Oh yeah. It's deep. It's pretty deep.
Yes, but anyway, we're out of here. Don't want to take too much more of you guys' time. Come down, get these Malaysian egg rolls, and I'm telling you, okay, for everybody who's seen New Jack City, everybody who's seen what's the newest stuff, Power, what's The Wire. Once you get it, once you taste it, you hooked. Okay, you're gonna be pawning your TV and whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
The real story.
Young lady, you have no idea. If like I said, I'm from the D. I'm an introvert. I don't want nobody.
He don't want no one knowing his business, but it's pretty deep. It's pretty deep.
But once again, you guys are gonna be hooked. This is the warning, so y'all can't come back and sue us when you be pawning your TV to get some more egg rolls. So I'm just letting y'all know now. But other than that, you guys have a great night. We'll see you guys next week on Monday.
Same time, same place.
No doubt. So hey, be safe out there. Watch your six, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right, back on.